Python comments. Comments can be used to explain Python code, to make the code more readable, or to prevent execution when testing code. First, creating a comment. Comments starts with a hashtag and Python will ignore them. Comments can be placed at the end of line and Python will ignore the rest of line. Let's try the first and the second example. I add a breakpoint in the first line of code. I execute via the debugger mode. I select the console. Python will ignore the first line because it's a comment. It can be used to make the code more readable or to explain the code. In the second example, Python will execute the first part but ignore the rest of line. In the third example, comment is used to prevent Python from executing code. Because print, it's a Python code. We can use comment to prevent execution of code, for example, to do some test. In the second part, we will see how to define a multi-line comments. There are a lot of programming languages which have a multi-line comments like Java, JavaScript. But Python does not really have a syntax for multi-line comments. To add a multi-line comment, you could insert a hashtag for each line, like in this example. There are 3 lines. On each line we add a hashtag. Python will ignore all 3 lines. They consider them as a multi-line comment. When executing the code, Python will execute only print hello world 3 and ignore all the first 3 lines, which considered as a multi-line comment. There are a second method to define a multi-line comment via string. Since Python will ignore string literals that are not assigned to a variable, you can add a multi-line string in the code and place the comment inside it. Let's try that. This is a multi-line string that are not assigned to a variable, like that, for example. We define our comment inside the multi-line string. Python will ignore the execution of this part of code and we can use it at a multi-line comment. Let's execute that, and Python will ignore this part and execute only the last line.